Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Cinderella. She lived with her cruel stepmother and two vain stepsisters, who treated her as nothing more than a servant. Since her father's death, Cinderella's life was filled with toil and hardship, cleaning and cooking all day, while her stepsisters enjoyed leisure and fine clothes. Despite everything, Cinderella never lost hope. She dreamed of a better life, and each night she looked up at the moon, whispering her wishes to it. One day, the king's messenger arrived in town to announce an important news. The king is hosting a grand ball at the palace. The prince is looking for a bride, and all the young women in the kingdom are invited. The town was filled with joy, and the young women hurried to prepare themselves. Cinderella felt overwhelming happiness and exclaimed, "I will go too. Perhaps this is my chance to change my life." But her stepmother and stepsisters mocked her, saying, "The prince's ball is not for servants. But if you finish all your chores and find a suitable dress, you can go." Overjoyed, Cinderella worked diligently, but when she finished, she discovered her stepmother had torn her mother's old dress, leaving it in tatters. She sat in the garden, weeping under the moonlight, lamenting her troubles to it. Suddenly, a gentle old lady appeared, smiling kindly at her. "Do not cry, my dear. I am here to help you." Suddenly, the old lady transformed into a kind fairy godmother and waved her magic wand. Cinderella's tattered dress turned into a magical gown of silk and twinkling stars, and her shoes into sparkling glass slippers. The fairy godmother then transformed a pumpkin into a golden carriage, mice into white horses, and made one of the dogs the driver. "Go to the ball, but remember, the magic will end at midnight." Cinderella entered the palace amidst everyone's astonishment. Her gown glowed as if it were made of moonlight. When the prince saw her, he felt as if time had stopped. He approached her and asked, "Will you dance with me?" They danced together all night, laughing and talking as if they had known each other forever. But suddenly she heard the clock striking midnight. "I must go," she cried, and ran swiftly out of the palace, leaving behind her glass slipper. The prince tried to catch up with her, but the carriage turned back into a pumpkin, the horses into mice, and Cinderella returned to her simple clothes. She disappeared into the night, but carried in her heart a beautiful memory. The next day, the prince ordered all guards to search for the girl whose foot would fit the glass slipper. Every girl in the kingdom tried it on, but it fit none of them. Finally, the guards arrived at Cinderella's house. The stepsisters tried on the slipper, but it was too small for them. The stepmother tried to keep Cinderella away, but the guard noticed her and said, "All girls must try it on." When Cinderella placed her foot in the slipper, it slipped on easily, as if made for her. She took the other slipper from her pocket, and everyone realized she was the mysterious girl from the ball. The prince took her to the palace, where everyone celebrated their wedding in a grand ceremony, and Cinderella became the kingdom's princess. And so Cinderella lived happily, not because she married the prince, but because she finally found the life she deserved.